pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, Treasurer, City Attorney, and audience. Today's date is July 27, 2020, and this is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. This meeting is also being held electronically. Those wishing to participate may do so by logging on into the Zoom meeting app. The meeting ID number is 876-8087-0151. Madam Chair, roll call was taken at our public hearing, and we have a quorum for this meeting.
Thank you.
And at this time, I will read the council meeting agenda. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, warrant. 12, communication. And number 13 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to accept the agenda as presented. Support.
Motion, right? Can y'all raise your hand for me, please, just so I can see who made I can't. The math is making it very difficult. So, Ms. Roscoe, you
Yes.
motion. Okay. Ms. It's been motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo to approve the agenda. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion.
Next on the agenda, number 2 are the minutes. 2A, for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on July 13, 2020.
So moved for July 13th, 2020.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve the minutes from July 13, 2020. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2B, for approval are the minutes from the special meeting held. This was a study session, also held on July 13, 2020.
So move for approval of minutes of the special meeting held July 13th, 2020.
Support.
And motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the minutes from the special meeting on July 13. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things. We did have a public hearing today at 7 o'clock today. At this time, I would like to bring is Jasmine. We still have our Wayne County Small Business Grant going on. If she doesn't mind coming up and speaking a few words about that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks, Jasmine.
Good evening, everybody. I think I mentioned this at the last council meeting, but there is still the second round of Back to Work grant programs available for local businesses. And as I stated before, this has been reopened also and expanded to include nonprofit organizations. So that's kind of a unique opportunity for those organizations. It's easily accessed by visiting waynecounty.com/back-to-work. At the top, you'll see a drop-down for relief programs. Click on that, and it's going to take you to 2 different opportunities. One is through the MEDC. That's the Small Business Restart Program. That's for businesses, but as well as the nonprofits. And then Wayne County is also still offering their small business grant program as well. So these are on a rolling basis, so it's best to apply as soon as possible. It's only available until the money runs out, and grants are available up to $20,000. So please help us spread the word. Our department here at Community Development at City Hall is happy to help anyone fill out their applications or answer any questions or point you in the right direction. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Jasmine. And near and dear to my heart, the census, we're still begging, pleading, borrowing, just to please fill out your census. Very important for us to take advantage of the census now, because if we don't, we get to wait another whole 10 years before we are able to do it again. So we're really encouraging people to fill out your census. It's very important, spread the word, not just for the city of Romulus, across our state of Michigan. We are imploring people to please fill out your census. If you haven't done so, if you have, tell somebody else to fill out their census. We need to spread that word. A couple other quick things I would like to bring up to council. With the election coming up next week, if there was just some suggestion that maybe possible, maybe not have a council meeting next week. We want to get everybody's input as far as possible council meeting next week or not before the election. Just wanted to bring it to the council's attention and see what everybody's thought was. Any discussion? Mr. Wadsworth?
I think that we should have a council meeting. It's by charter.
Say it again.
We should have one.
Madam
Any other-
Chair, I agree with Mr. Wadsworth. We've never canceled a council
No, we
meeting
haven't.
due to election. I don't think we should do it now.
Okay. Ms. Abdul, did you have something?
No, I'm
Okay.
listening
Anybody?
to other comments.
Okay, nope, just wanted to bring it up for discussion, thank you. And then the other thing is too, I'm not
Webb.
quite sure.
Ms. Webb.
I'm sorry, Ms. Webb, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Webb.
No, that's okay. I'll go along with my colleagues, but I must say that it is in the charter that we have 3 per month, but we can also have a council meeting moved to another day. And it is hard. I mean, it's going to be a big election, but, you know, if my colleagues agree to having the meeting on Monday, that's fine with me. But I just wanted to verify that it could be moved to Tuesday or Wednesday, as long as we have those 3 per month.
Gotcha, thank you. I'm sorry, I missed you. It's hard, you gotta adjust with all this plexiglass, masks, it's just a lot going on. The other thing too, I'm not quite sure, we're still getting hard copies. We've been in a pandemic for the last several months where everybody was pretty much using I guess we're not using our laptops no more since we back in the chamber. Is that why we still getting hard copies, Ellen?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
You know, I mean, this is just me personally. We've been using our laptops for the meetings. Do we still need to get hard copies?
Yes.
It is totally up to you. It's totally up to council, whether or not you want the hard copies or not.
I mean, I'm just saying, because we've been doing it for like 2 months with our laptops, so I'm just thinking of efficiencies, I'm thinking of costs, I'm just, printing out packages, time. I mean, we've been doing it for 2 months.
I mean,
Do we need to have a hard copy?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I do. I prefer one.
I prefer one.
I prefer one.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, I think.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if I may, we just want to encourage council too, that we have a software, a minutes and agenda management software, in which we are paying, which you all approved. So we really would like you to utilize it as much as possible. If you are having some difficulties logging in, or if there are, or issues with your laptop, please reach out to our technology department, and they would definitely be glad to help you be able to access your minutes and agenda packets. We have them available also on our, the website, for the public. But it's a software, again, you approved it, we're paying for it, and, I think you'll find if you use it, that how much of a convenience it really is, just moving forward with your packets.
Yeah, thank you, Ms.
You're
Madam Clerk. And on that note, that's all I have under the chairperson's report.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to accept your report.
Can I get a second?
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Clerk, Treasurer, and listening audience. Quote I brought tonight goes as this, Madam Chairman: denying the truth doesn't change the facts. Brought that one because at our last council meeting, there were some things said that were not true, and particularly towards our building department, and that's troubling. Our building department, their job is to go out and enforce what's approved by site plans, what's approved by ordinances, what's approved by building code, and to do it equally and fairly across the board. And they do that very professionally, and we're very proud of them, no matter who the developer is or what the site is. So tonight, I'd asked last meeting for Mr. Hitchcock to do a detailed dive into the facts. Council should have a letter with that. What you're going to have tonight is a presentation and a walkthrough that's both a PowerPoint by Mr. McCrate to share some of those facts, because I think that's really important. There were some things said towards a developer that, in my opinion, is one of the better industrial building developers in the area. They're home-based in Romulus, taxpayer. So I think there was a lot of misinformation that was stated, and what we want to do is just kind of clarify the process, the facts, and what got us to this point, to make sure that not just council, but the public and the development world knows that we're going to be fair and honest and go by the book. So what I'd like to do is invite up Mr. McCrate to start off with that, and kind of between his PowerPoint and Mr. Hitchcock's letter, which really details some of the facts. We also were, some of us were out at a site verifying some of those facts this week, just to make sure that what we're presenting back tonight is accurate. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bob. Please come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. Like the mayor said, there were some things said about a site last week. We want to get there and get to the facts and do some review on the site and make sure everything was above par on that site. So this is a quick overview of what we have on 13490 Inkster Road. A couple pictures real quick we put in there, common views down Inkster Road in this area, both the east side and the west side. Here you see some commercial development on the on the west side, and also on the east side that's commensurate with what we have and being zoned industrial. This is an overview right here of the site in question. You can see the two parcels right there. Those two parcels were purchased by D&G back in 1999. They were zoned M1 in 1970 when the city was incorporated. This right here is a quick view of the landscaping and the site plan. A lot of discussion came around this with berms and the location of detention ponds on the site. The site plan was approved by the Planning Commission on December 16th, 2019, 54,000 square foot facility for a stable food service industry. Proposed $4.8 million investment and 100 plus jobs, no tax abatement on this site. But you can see the heavily landscaped side on both the north and the south, and also additional landscape to be installed around the detention ponds to help protect the residential property in the middle of it. This is a finished rendering of what the building's going to look like when D&G finishes it in terms of key overs of Mucci for ownership. Response to claims that statements are made at the July 13th, 2020 Romulus City Council meeting under public comment. First claim, the contractor was discharging excessive water. The quote was, "They've been digging, building around my property. Now the water's coming in, filling up the ditch. He's got a pump, the ditch is filling up. I have to worry about my basement. It's filling now and coming into our basement. It is, I don't have this problem before he started there. This guy is flooding ditches. The ditch is even flooding across the street on Inkster Road." I take that very serious. If we have a commercial development that's running and they're causing hardships like that on a resident, we're definitely gonna get out there and look into that. First thing we checked was to make sure they had a Wayne County permit for the discharge of the water into the county drain. And upon our inspections, we noticed that the water was not leaching onto private property. It was all maintained in the banks of the ditch. The pond is not complete, therefore rainwater must be pumped off to continue construction. No violations have been found, and it is in compliance at this time. Also, the building department was denied access to the basement on multiple visits. Upon a question of the building inspector on July 15th, if the basement was currently flooded, the resident stated, "No, it's dry, but it could flood." They claim that the contractor is creating excessive dust. The dust has been all over the place. Dust is all over, the dust is in the house. The contractor is required to exercise dust control on the construction site. On July 13th and 15th, the building department staff noted that soil was on site, mostly moist, and I had very little dust. We do have photographs to document as well. The building department will continue to monitor the site. They do have equipment on site to make sure that it's maintained, and they're going to broom any excess spoils that go on to Ecorse Road, as well as keep the site dust-free. We're going to continue to watch that during development. The claim for the 50-foot setback. When we came here, a bunch of meetings, they told us 50 feet from our property line, nothing would be disturbed. Now they got like 12 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet from our property line. A ditch going down wasn't supposed to do it. The pond is supposed to be 50 feet from the property line. Planning Commission and BZA meetings had no discussion about the setbacks from the pond to the property line. Discussion regarding the 50 feet requirement is for the building and the parking lot on both the north and the south side of the property. The BZA granted a variance for the setback on the southern property line, reducing it to 17 feet. Again, the building, not the pond. The site plan was revised since then, and the variance is no longer needed because the service road on the south side of the property isn't in the plans. Approved site plan drawings indicate approximately 25 feet from the edge of the pond to the property line at 13510 Inkster Road. Excuse me. Other statements made at the July 13th, 2020 Romulus City Council meeting under public comment. First claim, the house is worth more than 50 grand. The guy come in here, wanted to buy my property for 50,000. Where am I gonna go for 50 grand? The house is worth more than $50,000 was the comment. 13510 Inkster Road was purchased in 2009 for $10,000. It's a non-homesteaded property owned by Dennis Justice. 1,000 square feet on a little over a tenth of an acre of land. Tentative assessed value is $26,200. Market value is typically twice the assessed value. Again, the property at 13510 Inkster was zoned M1 in 1970, and the city was incorporated. Another claim, City Council has oversight on all developments. We the people voted you people in for the best interests of us. We vote you in to oversee this stuff. Somebody's messing up, something's going on. You guys have to do something with us. We voted you in here. Every one of you guys, whoever's in on these other boards that's gonna give, you guys are supposed to watch over us. If it got changed, it should be gone back through when your body got to be changed. Site plans were reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission. City Council does not review site plans. On October 14, 2019, the City Council did hold a study session for the proposed industrial development district. City Council took no action at that time. Decisions of the BZA do not get appealed by City Council, and they must go to be appealed in Wayne County Circuit Court. Other information about the developer. I felt that these were good notes to put in here too, because it seemed like it was painting our developer in a bad light. So D&G Building, they've been founded in 1993, family owned and operated. They are headquartered in Romulus at 30735 Cypress. They've constructed more than 350,000 square feet of development in Romulus. They pay more than $400,000 annually in property tax, and they have paid more than $404,000 in building department permitting fees since 1999. And that does not include the cost of additional trade permits for other development they do in the city. At this time, Steve, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Some of the information that he put in there, I developed from reviewing both the videos and the minutes of 2 planning commission meetings, because it was at the second planning commission meeting where it was approved. I also reviewed the ZBA minutes and the video of the ZBA meeting, and I reviewed the minutes and the video of the October 14th council meeting in which the IFT was before you for approval. And everything that's been put in the conversation in these slides is accurate as to what those minutes and those videos showed. And I think the most telling thing was that the biggest issue that was, as I heard it raised last week, was a 50-foot requirement for a setback for the pond. And in fact, that was never mentioned in the Planning Commission or the ZBA minutes. All the 50-foot discussions were with regards to the north and the south boundaries of this property, and they needed to be 50-foot setback per the city zoning ordinance for the residential properties that are on those two sides where the building, if you flop the building one way or the other, or the parking lot one way or the other, you needed the 50-foot setback. There is no requirement in the zoning ordinance for a 50-foot setback for a detention pond. And as Bob has mentioned, the drawings indicate that it's going to be 25 feet from the edge of the pond to the property line when it's completed. So there may be, Mr. Justice may have seen that there's construction spoilage that's closer to his property line that will be cleaned up, but the ultimate profile of that retention pond will be 25 feet from his property line. That was the highlights of it. So I think that from everything that was in the minutes, most of what he said was not supported by even his own statements that he made at previous Planning Commission and BZA meetings. He was at those meetings basically to object to the construction of the site, but in none of those did he ever raise an objection to the location of the pond itself. And as I think was indicated to you before, you could have flipped those in the construction site. The building could have been closer to the back property line of his property with the pond behind it. And he never had any objections to, and everybody considered it to be a favorable thing to actually flip the construction so that the building was further back on the property and that the pond with the landscaping would be what he saw off the back of his property line rather than big high walls of the building that you saw the pictures of tonight.
Is there anything else, Bob?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And I have a question.
I'm sorry.
Bob, are the drains draining? That was one of the main complaints, and when I went there, they were draining water, as they were obviously allowed to do, but the drains, the ditches were not draining.
Yep, I'm concerned about that. We're going to continue to watch it and monitor it. We talked about it early in development on this site. The first day out there when they were doing some heavy pumping, even though the soil and sedimentation controls were all installed in accordance with Wayne County protocol, there was, a lot of water in those ditches, issues with draining. We're going to continue to work with Wayne County on that. It's really their jurisdiction. We're going to use all our influences to keep working on them. Roberto's got a few phone calls into Wayne County, but that's a real issue right now.
Have they given us any input as to when they're going to clean those drains or get?
Yep.
And this is the dry season for them.
Yep.
And that land is historically very wet, so I can see the concern.
The last four visits.
Again, it's the county,
The last 4 visits to that site by the building department have shown that that drain is not an issue right now, but it was
Okay.
cresting that first day I was out there, and we are concerned about that. We're going to continue to look into that and keep working with the county on that.
All right,
That's-
will you
that
keep
should
me
be resolved.
updated? Because that's where I was
Absolutely
concerned
will.
with the county drains.
Absolutely.
Do they work? Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Steve. I guess if council has any other questions after you've read the detailed report from Steve, we'll provide any of that information. I've got a few other action items here to go through, Madam Chairman, if I could. One of which I think you have a resolution in front of you, but I did want to recognize this. We had a couple other retirements, so there was one that went around for Nate Davis, who worked from 1976 to this year. And then he came up through the Teamster system, worker, lift station maintenance, sewer maintenance. He ultimately retired as an AFSCME foreman. There's also one in front of you for Sheila Stewart. She came here 1980 and worked through this year, Teamster, clerk 1, clerk 2, and recreation also, permit tech and building department. We did the other one last week, but if I could get some official motions on those, just so that we can make sure they get presented. We appreciate all the time that they gave to the city. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to put in place the resolutions for Nate Davis, Sheila Stewart, and Carl Hunt.
Support. Who supported that?
Mr. Wadsworth.
Regina? Okay.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Mr. Wadsworth, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, it's been motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to support the 3 motions for the retirees. We do have discussions. I know Ms. Williams has some discussion.
Yes, I just wanted to say thanks to, a big thanks to Sheila Stewart, Nate Davis, and also Carl Hunt for their service to the city. They did a wonderful job from the time that I encountered each and every one of them. I appreciate their service, and I hope that they enjoy their retirement. Thank you.
Mr. Wadsworth?
And I've got the same thing to say about all of them. A job well done, and good luck to you all.
Chair, if I may.
Ms.
I'd
Webb?
like to just send out my congratulations to them. They have worked hard in this city, and there's 3 employees that I know really respect and honor the residents, and they appreciate their job, and they've always done their job well.
Anybody else? Okay. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Wadsworth? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb? Ms. Roscoe?
I made the motion. And I'll say
Ms.
yes
Abdos,
again.
My bad. Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next one is a little bit more of a sad resolution, but I would like to get a memorial resolution for the family of Jarman Roach. I remember Jarman, the Roach family. There was Leo Roach, Doug Roach. Several years ago, we did one for him. Jarman has really, he lives in California, and his business was architecture, and he has been just overwhelming supporter of his hometown in Romulus. He's given to Arts Council and Historical Society and Pumpkin Fest, and in so many different ways. He did come back and do a visit with us a couple years ago. Got a detailed tour of kind of how his hometown looks today, and he said that at the time, that spirit in Romulus and that feel, he will forever remember, and he took that with him. So I just want to make sure that we do acknowledge and send a resolution to his family in California.
To the chair, if I may, I'd like to make that motion. Mr. Roach was a very, very charitable man, very.
Support.
Who did?
I support.
Okay. It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the memorial resolution to Jarman Roach. Do you have any more discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Chair votes yes, motion approved. I'm sorry.
Thank you, council. I do have some other action items in my report as well, too. First of which is item A before you. This is a recommendation from Kevin Kraus, our fire chief. Request to concur with the administration award bid ITB 19/20-31. That's to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, SiteMed North America. The amount is $503 per physical for a 12-month contract on-site, an annual NFPA 1582 compliance, firefighter physicals, optical services as needed. The optional services include periodic chest x-ray, cardiac screening, which is required every 5 years per the NFPA standard. The fire department will also receive year-round access to a doctor for medical questions, consultations at no additional charge. Those funds have been verified and available out of the Public Safety Fund for the Fire Department Employment Process Active Expense Account.
Madam Chairman, I'll move to approve ITB 19/20-34. It's the contract for the annual NFPA of firefighters physicals.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams for the ITB, the approval of ITB 19/20-31 contract for annual NFPA compliant firefighter physical. Any discussion?
Through the chair, I'd like to just say I am very, very impressed with SiteMed of North America. I spoke with Dr. Fernandez today in North Carolina, and the things that he explained, what they do nationwide, how they look out for our firemen and the maintenance, health maintenance that they do. For this amount of money, you can't go anyplace else and get this done. I appreciate you, Chief.
Anybody else? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next action item is a recommendation from Kathy Hood, Assistant DPW Director, and Gary Harris, Purchasing Director. The request is to concur the administration and consent to a piggyback contract 071B770085. That is for the purchase of one John Deere tractor with a broom and snow blower attached. Cost $46,945.63. That's for DPW, and the funds have been verified and available out of the motor vehicle capital outlay.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to piggyback on the MDO contract number 07B770085 for the purchase of one John Deere tractor with broom and snow blower attachments.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the piggyback on MDO contract number 07B770085, purchase one John Deere tractor with broom and snow blower attachments. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next two budget amendments are really timing issues of when quotes came in. The first one that's before you is a request to concur with administration and introduce budget amendment 20/21-1. That's to cover the cost to purchase the patrol car modems. You can see the attached amount.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and introduce this budget amendment.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the, to concur with the administration and introduce budget amendment 20/21-1 to cover the cost of purchase of patrol car motor. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The other introduction of budget amendment was also same thing, timing. This was for police, and what you have before you is a request to concur the administration and introduce budget amendment 20/21-2. That's to cover the cost of the printers for in-car.
Madam Chairman, I will move for the introduction of budget amendment 20-21.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for the concurrent administration and introduce budget amendment 20/21-2 to cover the cost of purchase of patrol car printers. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Just one last announcement. I'd like to have Director Kraus come up and talk a little bit about, the mask and social distance, kind of the world that we're living in, if you could, Kevin.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just wanted to briefly discuss, I know I had several questions over the last week in regards to mask and social distancing, and Councilwoman Talley, this evening you even made mention that it was kind of tough to listen or to hear your colleagues speaking. And I just wanted to point out that under Governor Whitmer's Executive Order 2020-153, there is a section in that states that you are allowed to remove your mask if you are giving a speech for broadcast or to an audience, provided that the audience is at least 6 feet away. And as all of you know, before you re-entered the council chambers to have live sessions again, we went through the chambers. We made sure everyone's seats socially distanced by 6 feet. You have splash guards or sneeze guards in between each and every one of you. We do sanitize the entire council chambers before the meetings. There's access to both the public and to yourselves for hand sanitizer. So if there is a little bit of a restriction and you feel you need to relieve that while you're speaking, especially on humid days such as today, it is okay for you to remove your mask while you're speaking, because you do have a public audience and you guys are separated by 6 feet. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. That concludes my report, Madam Chairman.
Six is the clerk's report. I have 3 action items for council. 6A, for second reading and final adoption, is an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Romulus by rezoning 69.48 acres of property at 37350 Ecorse Road, parcel number 80024990005-0703, from conditional MT industrial transportation to M2 general industrial. This rezoning amendment was introduced at the council meeting of July 13th, 2020.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Romulus by rezoning 69.48 acres of property at 37350 Ecorse, parcel number 80-24-99-005-703, from conditional M2 to industrial transportation to M2 general industrial.
Support.
There's been a motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Romulus by rezoning 69.48 acres of property at 37350 Ecorse, parcel number 80-024-99-0005-703, from conditional MP industrial transportation to M2 general industrial. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6B, this is a request for a resolution to approve a proposed amendment to 457 Section B, Plan to Sections 5.1 and 6.1. Kevin Lawson, Human Resource Director, is requesting council's approval to the proposed amendment. Our city attorney, Steve Hitchcock, is present to answer any questions that you may have regarding the 457B CARES Act provisions and plan changes.
Through the chair, if I may. I'd like to make that motion to approve the proposed amendment to the 457 parentheses B parentheses plan to sections 5.1 and 6.1.
Board, and I have a question.
There's been a motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the request for a resolution to approve the proposed amendment to the 457B plan to sections 5.1 and 6.1. Mr. Wadsworth?
I guess my question would be this, Steve, they're not changing companies. This is just giving individuals a right to do something if they wish.
Correct.
Is that what I'm reading into this?
Yes, under the CARES Act, while you are allowed to have a loan for the reasons that are stated in the CARES Act.
Okay.
You've been affected by COVID-19, or you can take an advance withdrawal out of your plan,
Okay.
not to exceed $100,000 through all city plans. And in a couple meetings ago, you approved this with regards to the
I remember.
401 plan the city has, prevention plan for the workers in the city. And this is, the 457B plan is a plan that the city does not contribute to, but a number of employees contribute to that plan. So they would be allowed, if they were affected for the reasons stated in the act, to have a loan.
Okay, and the point that I'm getting at is the individual employee makes this decision himself?
Correct.
Okay, fine.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the last action item, and this is a request from Mary Drurer, the TIFA Director, and this is for a 30-minute public hearing on August 24th, 2020 at 7 o'clock p.m., and this is for the purpose of presenting an update on the Tax Increment Finance Authority plan.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion. We schedule a 30-minute public hearing on August 24th, 2020.
Support.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry.
a motion by Ms. Agnew, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for a 30-minute public hearing on August 24th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Before I close out, just want to remind everyone, the election is just a week away, and we're extremely busy. Those that have, if you're still contemplating whether or not you're going to vote by absentee or request an absentee ballot, I ask that you do so very soon. If you requested one this week and you're waiting for it in the mail, or if you still have your ballot, I'm going to ask that and encourage those that still waiting, that haven't turned in their ballot, to please utilize the drop box. It's there. Sometimes the mail, it takes 5 to 7 days, and we want to make sure that everyone that, we receive your ballot by election day. So please utilize our drop box. If you have any questions, give us a call. Another reminder is that this is a primary election, and that you have to vote straight party. So I like to say, when you're voting that ballot, stay in your partisan lane. So if you're voting Republican, vote all Republican. If you're voting Democrat, vote all Democrat. You cannot cross parties. If you discover that you have made that mistake before Election Day, give us a call. You still have the opportunity to spoil that ballot and be reissued another ballot, but you must give us a call, and there's steps that you must, requirements that you must meet in order to be reissued another ballot. Thank you. And with that, that concludes the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, and audience. Tonight, under my report, I provided some information to you in regards to the DivDat kiosk network. I provided an update from me to you with some changes or some updates that I don't think you guys were aware of. And then there was also a letter provided to you from Mr. Babiars. It was a 2-page letter. And it's my understanding he also emailed you a letter. And as you know, back on December 23rd, 2019, there was approved with all council for resolution 19-392. And tonight I'm before you if you want to move forward with that, or to take action to not move forward with that. And if you have any questions, we also have Mr. Babiars in the audience as well.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If there's not any questions, I'll make a motion to deny the agreement, to not move forward with agreement.
I'll support it.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to deny the agreement, not to move forward with DivDat agreement. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Approved. Motion approved.
Okay, thank you. And I'm all set with my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 8 is public comment, and this is a portion of the agenda that's set aside for those of you that are in the audience that would like to have comments. If you wish to have a comments, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium, state your name, and we ask that you please adhere to the 3-minute rule. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon consent of the chairperson. For those who have joined this meeting electronically, the raise hand method will be used. Once you've been acknowledged, we ask that you identify yourself, and again, you will have 3 minutes to speak as well. Madam Chair, we have received one written request. This is from Dale Justice.
Thank you. Mr. Justice.
Good evening, Dale Justice, 13510 Next Road. It might take a little time, so I might need more than the 3 minutes. They were concerned that he said I didn't say nothing about the pond. In here on September 16th, he did not want a horseshoe pond going around his home, okay? And what we did on that, when we was here, he said I didn't say nothing about it, but I did. It's right here on the thing. But my thing of it is, okay, is ordinance says that a commercial has to be 50 feet from the property line. He put a horseshoe pond there, okay? And it's a man-made and it's built for the construction area. That pond should be 50 feet from the property line. Now, they kept going about the 17 feet on the south side and 50 feet on the north side. Nothing about mine. It's all in the minutes here. And when Bob McCray and them came out there was no dust because it rained the day before. Okay, and then if he came out again, there were no dust. You council members, some of you guys came out there, you seen the dust and everything. And for them to try and say that there were no dust, and when Bob was there, I showed him across the street where the people's property across the street was full of water. He said yes, okay? Then when he told me the guy's coming out from the Taylor side makes a left-hand turn, he goes, well, show me where it's on there. Well, I showed him, one of the council people showed him, and they're making left-hand turns already coming out of there, and it's against the law. My thing is we should have the cops out there, and the city needs money and getting tickets for this, all right? And you know what, why isn't the city working for me, okay? He sat there and said that, no, I didn't say nothing about it. You know, my property, and you're telling everybody here that their property ain't worth nothing. Yes, we might have paid so much back then for it. We put a lot of love, work, and everything into that house. You can't buy no house for $50,000 around here. You know, and I really didn't want to sell my house. I was going on the impression that the pond was going to be 50 feet from my property line. And you council even all said, most of you guys said at the last meeting that is, oh yeah, they were supposed to do 50 feet. Well, there's no 50 feet, and then the ordinance says that construction has to be 50 feet from the property line. And it's not being done. And he still is only probably not even, anywhere from 9 to 12 feet from the property line all the way around. And the water, the inspector came out, like probably 3 or 4 days after that. Yes, my basement, the water went down and it pumped all the water out. I put the fans there to dry it up. I mean, if they would have came out that day and looked in the basement, they would have seen the water. You come out 2 or 3 days later, I have a sub pump in my basement. Yes, it pumps the water out. So when they quit draining that water, or the water went down, the ditches went down, and my water got to pump out and it dried out, and I put the fans down there. I mean, to come out 3 or 4 days later, it ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Do you need additional time?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And the dust, he brung a sweeper out there, okay, and just swept the road. No water in it or nothing. So when he's sweeping the road, it's still bringing the dust. You guys, the council people's out there and seen it. He told me from the get-go he was gonna have a tanker out there. They spread the water. Never been out there. One of the building inspectors came out there one day, and to look at the dust, he goes, well, the dust ain't blowing towards your house. I said, no, but it's blowing towards the neighbor's house. It don't matter if it's my house, the neighbor's house, whoever. If the dust is there, they need to control the dust. But our own building department, everybody is fighting with us. We're residents there, and We bought this property back then, yeah, we might have paid $10,000. There's people that paid $1,000 for properties in the city of Romulus. But they ain't nobody gonna sell a house. Where are you gonna buy a house for $50,000? Does anybody know a house in Romulus for $50,000? Somebody said Detroit, but I'm just saying, you know, and for Mr. McCray to come up and tell me what my house worth, he's no real estate. He don't know what happened, what's going on there. He don't know the work that's been put in that house. How can he come up here and judge that my house is only worth $24,000 by the city taxes or something like that? You can't replace it. I really don't want to sell my house, but I think that the city should stick by the ordinance 50 feet from the property line. That's what the ordinance said. On this 2016, there's no mention of my property around there. All it is the south property. They agreed to let something like 17 feet there, and then on the north was 50 feet, okay? All I'm asking is 50 feet from my property line, just like everybody else did. But they didn't come in and vote about, we can build right to your property line. No. Residential and commercial, it says in the ordinance, okay, you got to be 50 feet, which the attorney should know that, because none of these attorney or nobody got a hold of me. Bob McCray not got a hold of me after the meeting or nothing like that to tell me this. I've told council people, Bob McCray has not called me back, okay? I was looking for something for the city to come back with me. No, if anything, they come up there and tried to make me look bad on council. Like he said, oh, you never mentioned nothing about it. It's right there. You know, why don't the city work for the people? Yes, and Bob McCray and I'm said, we're the people. We voted you people in. You know, you guys are responsible for all the other boards and stuff. If something's going wrong, we put you guys there to straighten it out. Now, like we were here last time, and one of the board members wanted to be on a meeting, you guys wouldn't let them be on. You guys, every board member, if somebody wants to be on a meeting, they should be on it. And I think all the extra zoning boards, we should have somebody representing us. Is that right or wrong?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Justice. Was there anything? We're good. Thank you. All your comments have been duly noted. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, we have another written request to speak from Bruce, I think it's Baybards, and I may have not pronounced it correctly, and I apologize. Okay.
Okay.
Take off the mask.
Director? Okay. He said yeah.
Thank you very much. Stacy, nice to see you. Thank you, Council. I'm Bruce Babiars with the DivDak Kiosk Network, and I noticed you just took action to rescind the agreement, and we spoke with the treasurer. We're happy to do either way. We're just a little puzzled. Every council we've been for, including yours, gave us a unanimous vote in favor, and we're serving all those cities extremely well, providing a free payment mechanism to residents for water and tax payments, and many other cities have added additional services. So I know you're not required to give an explanation, but we're extremely puzzled and somewhat astonished that a city would not want to provide a free payment channel to its residents and increase its collections. So if there's an opportunity to explain that, we'd like that. Also to let you know that we have added the district court in Detroit and have come up with a way to make bond payments as well. So far this year, while the district court in Detroit's been shut down since March 6th, we've collected $9 million for the court. So our system works extremely well here and in the other cities around the country. I'm just really puzzled by the action of Romulus not to afford a free payment system to its residents.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Ando?
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment.
Go ahead.
I went through the video of the original meeting, and I know you kept reiterating no cost for the people. I don't think it was a reality as to what the cost was for the city. At this point, especially with COVID, I don't think we are able to take on another cost for the city.
But it's a cost reducer, so that's a fact.
I guess we're not, I just don't think that we can absorb the cost at this time.
I understand that. I appreciate your explanation. If I may, just a further comment. Every presentation had our written costs in it, PowerPoint, written letters, and our contract. So I have no idea where that confusion came from. The only cost is the $2 per transaction. We waived our integration fee.
You did,
We waived the kiosk placement fee. If we did not charge you a cost, we would not be in business. and that is a modest cost. The city treasurer from Dearborn said their cost of collections is $14.73 at their window. They're shut down. It's now $2 per transaction, and we've collected $600,000 for them in the 2 months they've been on our system. So it's a cost, it's a revenue generator and a cost producer, but if you see it a different way, that's your prerogative.
Oh, we do have a Dropbox alternative, for our people
Not
can
for
come in.
cash customers, which are about 25% here.
That's true,
Anyway,
but we
I'm
do
not
have
here
the
to argue with
Dropbox.
you. We're happy to move on to another city, and we wish you well.
Yeah, I just don't think at this time we're ready for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the last written request, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
We don't know if there's anyone else from the audience that would like.
Is anybody else from the audience?
Oops, I apologize, I didn't see you
Okay.
there. Nino, and I'll mess up your last name, so I apologize. I'll let you, please state your name.
Good evening. Nino DiDomenico, D&G Building Company. I just wanted to come up here to defend the accusations on 13490 Inkster Road. The date the complaint came in of the flooding, I got a call from the building department. I came out and met the building inspector on site. We asked Mr. Justice if we could see his flooded basement. He said no. And then he said that his basement was not flooded and could possibly flood. Second, to defend him, there was one instance that the dust was a little much. That day, we made a call to the city of Taylor to get a meter to get water on the site. An hour later, it downpoured that day. Ever since then, we've been fighting moisture on that site. We have a third-party testing company that's testing moisture and compaction on the site, and the moisture is over what is allowable. Tomorrow, a tanker is coming on the job to water the site every day. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to be able to respond. You can come up, Mr. Justice. We make sure we limiting our time.
Okay, one thing. He wasn't there. He didn't come out there when the inspector came in, okay? And the inspector, he came out, he's seen it. He's seen the ditch flood. I showed you guys all seen pictures of it and everything last meeting we were in. The tanker was supposed to be there almost 2 months ago, okay? Yes, the building department, the inspector told me that they were gonna bring a tap from across there, and yes, we've had rain lately, okay? But I've been on to this for almost 2 months about this dust. And now he's doing something about it, but for him to get up here and say that he was there when the inspector said about my basement, and I told him, that it was flooded. He never asked to go in the basement or like that. Till like 3 or 4 days later, he come in there and asked me, and I said, well, it's already drained out. You can see the sub pump and everything, it drained all the water out. He was never there when that happened. And I just don't know why this is going on like this. And you guys were all there. And I would like your input, what you said and what I said. Nobody's responding to me here. Can I have a response from anybody on these problems?
Thank you, Mr. Justice.
No, I was just wondering if the council can't address me right now?
Did anybody have any comments? Ms. Williams?
I would like to say, that's why I voted no on this project, because I felt it was going to be an inconvenience for the residents on that street. That's why I said no. I wouldn't want a commercial building horseshoed around my home, but I think the city went a little too far to the left to go into how much you pay for your home and how much it value now. That doesn't matter if you got it free. If you paid $1, that doesn't matter how much a resident paid for their home compared to what it even valued today. The value may be, the state equalized value may be one price. Somebody may want that property and willing to pay you 100,000, 200,000. It just depends. So I think to attack the resident in that manner with this slide, to talk about how much you pay for your home, I think that was a little bit too much.
Agreed.
And to build up the builder. We're supposed to be fair. So everybody get fair treatment, the contractor and the resident. So I'm not for sure of the document actually that you have where you say the June the 16th, okay, was that meeting?
Yep.
It's too much back and forth. So what really is it? Because the city attorney, you know, gave a document that says, or gave a statement that says that it was never mentioned. And then you come up here and
Right
you
here on your
say
paper.
you did mention it. We can't have this, one say this, one say, what is the truth?
It's on paper.
Ms. Wadsworth?
Just a quick comment. Number one, I don't dispute what Bob said tonight, and I don't dispute that the developer is a good developer. What bothers me the most is I wish the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals would have put a little more effort into protecting this homeowner. And I just think it's a bad place for this house. And I wish between the parties involved that they could reach some type of a settlement and they would buy you out. And that's my comments.
I am one of the ones that went out there. They called, and flooding was there. I saw it. I didn't go in your basement, but I saw it creeping up, and I saw the water being, you know, drained out of the
You seen the
ditch.
flooding.
It was
Said
moving
they
about.
That they didn't exist.
It was moving towards your house at a rate that was very alarming when I was there. I have witnessed the dust, that they do need to get the water truck there because the dust is there. The other thing that is a concern of mine, it was brought up by the other neighbor, was that the trucks, and really she's more concerned for the safety of your workers, that some of the trucks are blocking her driveway, which she didn't have a problem because they moved, but they're unloading in the street. And she's concerned, thought maybe, is there
I
possible
addressed
we could
that
put a
too.
construction zone sign up so that she was more concerned about the safety of your workers, truthfully. That if we could get, you know, careful construction ahead so that nobody's, you know, hurt. That's one of the concerns that I saw.
Can somebody come back with the 50 feet with the ordinance and thing for me so I will know what's going on? Because it says 50 feet and nobody's addressed it. I would like for somebody to come back with me on it and let me know. Because in the paper, it says 50 feet from the property line.
It says 50 feet for building and parking. It doesn't say that retention ponds or berms, for that matter either, have to be 50 feet from the property line.
That was on September 16th. I'm talking about the ordinance says they have to be 50 feet from a property line.
I looked at the ordinance, and the 50 feet that the ordinance is talking about is for buildings and parking lots that are
Does it say
Are
that
you talking on the
specifically?
16th here, or are you talking general all the time?
general all the time. The
Okay,
ordinance,
I would like to see that.
the ordinance is online.
Well, I would like for one of you guys to show me so and prove it, because I got the paperwork saying 50 feet, and everybody up in the council even said, most of you guys said, yeah, 50 feet. They were supposed to be 50 feet from your property line. Mr. Wadsworth, you said it last meeting. Virginia said it. Kathy said it. And then they want to make me look at the bad person. Well, then, if it's 50 feet, then let's get our heads together, let's look at it and show it.
Okay.
This 16th was something different other than the 50 feet from that.
Okay.
And I would like a response from somebody or written, okay?
Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
Mr. Justice. Do we have any more comments from the audience? Madam Clerk, let's close that out.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 9 is unfinished business, and I do have something, Madam Chair, if I may. Just want to bring to everyone's attention kind of kind of a public apology. On July the 6th, Council, you approved a request from our Marketing and Community Development Director, Jasmine Dancy, for a study session this evening at 6:45. That was regarding Aerotropolis. And so that meeting is going to be rescheduled for August the 10th also at 6:30. We missed that meeting because it slipped up from the clerk. So just with elections, it was an oversight on my part, so I want to apologize for that, and also, publicly apologize. It's just with elections, just an oversight. But that meeting will be held August the 10th at 6:30, and there's no, further action from council that's required. Okay, thank you. Just want to put that out there. Okay.
No, thank
What
you, Madam
happened to that
Claire.
meeting?
We can all take lessons from just owning up to stuff. I try to own my stuff too, so I think it's just a good lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, because we all have to own
Just
up.
a little busy, busy down there, so I just want to publicly announce that, and that study session will take place on August the 10th.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any unfinished business from
I just
council?
have one, Madam Chairman, just to follow up from the comments that council made, and if there, as I said, we stand by the facts in that report. If there's anything else council wants, we'll provide it. You want to see that carve out where that ordinance is, that's great. We were criticized with lies. And when we have to put amounts and values of property, it's a shame, isn't it? That we have to put facts. That came from the assessor. Those are factual information. I'm not involved with what he does with this property, what he doesn't do. We're sharing the facts as we've been fair with this process. We take offense to our department and our city being cast in a bad light, and we should take offense that any builder that comes into our boundaries, our city boundaries, is treated that way. We look out for every resident. This is property that was zoned from the beginning of time for this city started 50 years ago. So we do look out for it. There were a lot of misstatements, misinformation, and I just think that's really important as we move forward to stick to facts. Ms. Abdo, you said something about flooding in a basement. We went out to investigate that immediately. We're denied access. So if you guys bring up legitimate issues, we're going to follow through immediately. We will. And we take it very serious for any resident. So if you have those requests, we're going to follow through. But to have this hearsay back and forth, no, we're not going to play games. We're going to investigate it, we're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to address it. The dust, we addressed it. It came up about the pumping. We sent Roberto out there. The next day, the man flipped them off in the city vehicle. Is that appropriate? This is what we're dealing with. So if you want to call to question what our departments are doing, we're going to hold ourselves to a high level and to integrity, but work those through us, and we'll back them up with facts every day of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Williams?
Yes, to the city attorney, you said that what he is saying is in the ordinance. Can you give me the actual location where that is, so we can get this settled, so he's not, because if it's in the ordinance of what you said to him, then it's a done deal. But, as the mayor said, if we're going back and forth, because even though the city responded this way, he's coming back with documents that he's saying this, so we have to make sure, and regardless, we're here as elected officials. So if a resident or even a business come up and say something we don't like, we're not supposed to be walking around with our feelings on our sleeves. We shouldn't take it personal that they say something. If it's not true, prove it and keep it moving. And that's what we're here for. We should not be taking things personal because we don't like what an individual say, whether it's good or bad. Thank you.
No, I'll get everyone a copy of the page out of the zoning ordinance where it says that.
Thanks, Steve. Ms. Abdo?
Clarify, what we take personal is misinformation. We have no problem if they have an opposing view. We're going to come back with what's fair and what's right for the resident, the business, the developer. We take offense to is deliberate misinformation. Thank you.
Well, back to the flooding in the basement. When I was there, the water was creeping towards his house. Probably by the time I got there and the time I left, it had creeped another 10 inches toward his house. The next day, he told me it had flooded. I did not ask him for proof because I saw the water creeping right up to his house. and the ditch overflowed and the sludge, I assume that he was telling the truth. It was not misinformation, so you should not be wearing it on your sleeve and taking offense to it.
You said there were flooded basements for residents. That's not true. Did you see it?
I did not see his flooding.
Okay.
There was flooding next door, but yes, sir, I did see that. With my own eyes, in her basement.
Any other?
Would you like to go see it? I could certainly take you there. Why would I lie?
Oh, we sent the building department out. I don't need
She
to go
did
see it.
not
I
want to
trust
get
him.
involved in it, okay? She did not want to, has not wanted to get involved in this at all. She's done with it. But there was flooding. He wasn't sure it was from the construction, but then when he came and said, hey, look at this water, and I saw the ditches flooding up. What am I going to do?
Dispute the ditches. The man had a permit from Wayne County to pump while the pond was being
My
constructed.
problem is not with that. My problem is with Wayne County not clearing those ditches.
Agreed.
And not,
Let's get them to clean those out.
that's what my problem is, that Wayne County, those ditches don't work. They approved this building site when they knew those ditches didn't work, the drains don't work.
They don't work in a lot of their ditches. That's a big issue. We're on them constantly.
It is a big issue. We're a joke. They just ignore us when they call. I've logged over 52 calls down there since June. And you know what? They still don't, nothing happens. Yet we pay these god-awful taxes to Wayne County. That's where my problem lies. Those people are having flooding. When your ditches don't work, think about it. Wait till a big rain comes, you'll see it.
Having flooding, contact us if there are issues related to construction. We'll deal with them. And if not, we'll be an advocate at Wayne County. I've had county commissioners out to sites. We've had city workers, do you realize, cleaning and doing work around county drains
I know
to
we have,
accommodate
but it's
residents?
not solving
It's not
the
even our responsibility. But we're compassionate for the resident, and we're going to look out for them. And we do that day in and day out. And no, we don't get credit for that. We get, criticized that something is flooding, and we're not even allowed to be a part of a solve. So that's not right.
I know, he's desperate. I mean, come on now. The guy can't seem to get a solution to get the flooding out there. I know that we go above and beyond. Our DPW goes above and beyond to try to help this. It's a huge problem. We need to address it with the county.
Ms. Webb?
Well, I have to agree with her last statement. We have to address it with the county. The city gets blamed for a lot of things that we are not responsible for, but as you stated, as well as the mayor, our workers still go out and do as much as they possibly can. We can't go out there tampering with Wayne County's drains. Secondly, when it comes to who's telling the truth, and let's see this in black and white, that's all good. But if someone tells me that their basement flooded, but they will not allow a worker to go in there because they place fans up and it's dry. Where I live, for 40-plus years, my basement has flooded numerous times. I call the city, and they'll come down, bring the sanitizing stuff, and sometimes, they'll check the drain out by my house. But if I called the city and told them that my basement was flooded and it was their fault, and then I wouldn't let them in to see, anytime you go into a person's basement where it's been flooded, there's going to be a water line there. I don't care if it was 2 weeks before. So, as my colleague stated, we need to get this resolved and get it resolved now. This should not come back to us anymore. This needs to be settled instead of the he said, she said. So as soon as we get that ordinance, the wording, and then because that's not on us, I can't sit here and defend somebody when I don't have any proof of anything except what this one said or that one said. And I'm going to have to go along with the city because we represent our residents. But number one issue is, don't blame the city. When you purchase a piece of property in this city, the young men were here this evening in a study session. They did not follow through on their investments because they don't have an exit road there. They should have found that out before they purchased that property. Same way with purchasing a home. We're an industrial city, it was already zoned way back in who knows when. We have to, as a council, we have our friends, we have our family members, etc. But we have to really stand and say, now, wait a minute. Now, when you purchased this property, did you not know that there would possibly be building over here or over there? You know, you check, and I'm not against anyone, but I just want this resolved, but I don't want the tit for tat and the back and forth, blaming the city, just like we said, it's a, you know, blaming the city for the flooding, and it's not the city's fault.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, and I would just like to say, to speak on what the mayor said, yeah, it many times, as a matter of fact, I would say 99.999% of the time that the building department is called or the mayor's chief of staff is called and a resident have an issue with, and it could be Wayne County Ditch because it's causing them problems in other areas of the city, they have addressed it. So I'm not, you know, going along with that the city is, you know, not doing their job or anything of that sort. I wanted to definitely get that out, that they do go out and do things that actually Wayne County should be doing, and they do it in a expedient way. So thank you.
Any other, Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could respond to this water in the basements, you know, that night that the taxpayer came here and said that, hey, these guys are putting water in my basement. And I made the comment that if there was water in the basement, that the building department should go out there and investigate it. And they did. And Mr. McCray came back with a report that he wouldn't let us in the house. Well, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, there's no more that we could do. But, you know, we got to stop taking this so personal. I mean, you know, a resident comes here and has a complaint, you know, I couldn't tell him at night, well, no, there's no water in your basement. So I turned it over to, I thought we should look into it. But Bob McCray came back with a report, and I said tonight that, you know, I accept everything that he did. It was a good report. Thank you.
Last item is we'll follow up with that ordinance from Steve, so
Okay.
you clearly have that. Anything from Steve's written report or Bob's presentation, just let us know. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Mayor.
Is there any more unfinished business?
Oh, through the chair, I'm sorry, I was going to do it under communications. If I could get someone to support a memorial resolution for Faye Suddeth, who passed away, a friend of mine down the street from me last week. And I will give all the information to the clerk.
Support.
Who supported that? Ms. Abdo.
Ms. Abdo.
Okay. What's her name, Faye?
Sudduth. Suddeth.
Sutton? Okay, thank you. Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Abdo for the memorial resolution for Faye Sutton. Anything you want to discuss?
She was a great person. Her children attended Romulus schools. Her son is a coach with the little guys, Derek. They've just always been very good neighbors. I'm sure Kathy knows the family. And it's really, really a sad time for them.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 10 is new business. Number 11 is approval of the warrant.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we approve warrant 20-14 in the following amounts. General Fund, $79,858.40. Major Street Fund, $42,998.81. Local Street Fund, $34,229.02. Public Safety Fund, $41,281.99. Cable TV, $138.14. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $18,165. Street Lighting Fund, $36.08. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $87,911.21. CDBG, $1,570. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $525. 9/11 Service Fund, $15,176.16. NARC Forfeiture State, $1,969.59. Library Fund, $3,062.61. DDA, $62.01. Tifa District 2, $318,337.96. Court Building Construction Fund, $5,798.71. Water and Sewer Fund, $114,408.03. Motor Vehicle, $23,842.28. Technology Services, $8,260.06. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $254,324.76. Revolving Fund, $12,250. General Tax Fund, $6,105. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $57,685.80. Payroll Fund, $235,973.41. All funds totaling $1,363,970.03.
I'll support the motion.
It's been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for the approval of the warrant. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion carries.
Number 12 is communications. There's no communication. Number 13. Pardon? Okay. All right, then that takes us to number 13, adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb to adjourn this meeting. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb? Yes. Ms. Williams? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned.